Hello, and thank you for taking the time to listen to this webinar. The subject I would like to speak about today is something that many people live on a day-to-day basis, but often don't think about it until they reach, unfortunately, a certain age. Not to say that when you get older you get wiser, although it's true, but typically what happens is a person goes through the motion of life, goes through this journey, and sometimes doesn't realize at any given point that small changes, small ideas, small concepts, however small they may be, can make a big difference in the way that you see life, the way that you act, and the way that you literally interact with people throughout the world. I want to start with a small story. When I was younger, and I was once at home, my father, bless his soul, was sitting next to me, and we were doing a project which I had for school. And I realized that while he was focused on my project, my other brother came into the room and asked a question to my father. And he said that he'd be more than happy to help him. As soon as he would finish with me, he would attend to his needs. He then walked away after he finished with my project and sat down with my brother. While we were still finishing the project, I could see also that my father was focused with my brother, and then a few minutes later, my sister came into the room and asked also that she would be helped with her project, and my father said he would also do that. Now, my mother was busy with other kids in the house. Thank God I come from a large family, 8 siblings, and therefore we needed the help of our parents. Something which I always knew you could go to and ask of that. Years later went by, and I realized I could always go to my father and my mother and ask them for help, and they would do that. But years went by, and I was once sitting at the table and working on a paper. My mother walked over to my father and said, in the way that most people ask, "Darling, would you do me a favor?" And the answer of my father at that moment was, "I could do 2 if you wish, or however many you would like." Of course, sitting there at the table, on the corner of my eyes, I could see my dad being pleased with what he had said, and my mother absolutely ecstatic, but took it for granted that this is how my father spoke, and this is how he led his life. I learned from that 2 things. First, you always have to be available for people who need you. Second, give them more than what you have. And so the name of this webinar today is how can you say yes? How can you always find a way to say yes on everything that you do? Now this is not so simple, because we're talking here about yourself, and then we're talking about your interaction with your family, and then the interaction between colleagues at work, and then people at large. So first yourself, then it extends to your family, then it goes to the people at large. And this is the way that I believe is the appropriate definition of a person who truly wants to contribute to this world. First and foremost, in your own mind, you must always find the way to say yes to every single challenge and or opportunity that comes your way. Never know, I'm not sure, I'm going to try, not possibly, not let's see what can be done with it, but the answer is yes. Unequivocal, undiluted, yes. I can do it. I want to do it. I will do it. So whenever you have that question asked of you, the answer is yes. Absolutely. It's interesting. Often, when someone asks a favor of us, the first thing that comes to our mind is, well, there it goes. I'm going to have to do something, and I'm going to have to extend myself out of my comfort zone to help them out. Rather than saying, absolutely, I don't really matter, forget about me, what can I do for you? And not only that, Not just one favor. Why don't I do more than one? It's a difficult thing. But I can promise you, I can guarantee you, that if you follow the steps which I'm going to discuss in the next few minutes, first working on yourself, then working with your family and your close relatives, then extending this to the outside world and to literally your position as a manager, a doctor, a parent, a father, a mother, whatever it is, the title that you have in your professional life, extending that to it, you will see that you can accomplish not only a lot more, not only a lot better, not only a lot faster, but that you will be given more and more opportunities to help others. And the more you help them, the more that you'll get. And the more you'll get, the more you'll be able to do. It's incredible the amount of wealth, material and spiritual blessings that you can get by doing such a thing. So again, let's start with yourself. What is it that I have to do on a daily basis to be that one person? Just remember the word yes. That's the key point right there. Yes. Anything that comes your way, and you can do this, start today. Anything that comes your way, just say yes. Yes, I can. Yes, I will. Yes, I can. At any given time that this question is asked, can it be done? Is it possible? Is it available? The answer is yes. By saying yes to every single question that comes to you, you will find a tremendous opportunity that opens up. Now the challenge is going to be great, and it's not so simple. But by just saying yes, I can, yes, I will, yes, to whatever the question is, you'll not only see the possibility become literally a tangible option for you, but you'll be given somehow inside of you the strength to overcome whatever the obstacle may be. So that's where it starts. Yes, 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 yes. Wherever you turn, the answer is yes. Now next to your family. You're going to get home, perhaps sometime later after watching this video, and you'll speak to your children. And they'll come to you and they'll say, Daddy, can you do this? Mommy, can you do this? And the answer should be yes. Then your spouse may ask you, would you mind doing this? Would you mind doing that? Would you mind if we did this? Would you mind if we did that? Whatever the question, whatever the title, whatever the challenge, be it simple or not, be it within your realm or not, the answer should be yes. Try this. It is amazing, amazing change in life. This is the one important concept that changed my whole life and made me the person that I am today, and made me somehow, I believe for myself, a person that not only can do more, but accomplishes more. On a day-to-day basis, I take more responsibility upon myself, and I have no problem rising to the higher level. Why? I was taught from a very young age, and thank God for this, from my father, bless his soul, that taught me never just say yes. Not only do you say yes, but see if you can say yes to either other questions that the other person may have or other things that they may need. Now comes to work. We get to work and we ask the same question. Could you please pick up the phone for me? Would you please pull up this file? Can I have this patient's record? Is there anything at all that you can do because I have this big project and it's due by the end of the day? The answer is yes to all of that. As you walk around the office and find in the back office, we're talking about people treating patients, or we're talking about the physicians, or whatever you can do to walk around that office and give yourself literally the opportunity to help the other. Walk around and say, what can I do? How can I make your job easier? How can I help you? Please, let me help you. You'll be amazed the strength that comes with such an attitude. Besides the fact that you'll feel good about yourself, which is important, but it's not the key point. Besides the second fact that you will please everyone else around you, think of the type of positive energy that you will generate in that office by becoming the yes person. By becoming the person that not only extends themselves, but also overrides all other type of obstacles and looks as though these obstacles never even existed. You become that yes person. It's interesting, just yesterday I was sitting with my staff, and my staff asked me for a question regarding a paper which we had just received and whether or not I understood it. And the paper was not in English, it was actually in German. And one of the staff members said, "Give it to Dr. Dahan, he can read it." So of course, I, sitting on the other side of the table, looked at that person and said, "What? Why are you giving it to me? How am I supposed to do that?" She looked at me right away and said, "If anybody can do it, you can do it." Without saying a word, I took the paper, and indeed it was in German. Well, we went ahead and Googled it and translated it, and it was done. Do I speak German? Not at all. But I was able to do it. The ability to transcend any obstacle and not look at challenges in the way where they come to you as a wall, but rather a transparent flow of water. Think about this. Think that if any wall that you saw in front of you at any given time, it was actually clear flow of water. Could you walk right through it? Yes, you could. Without any efforts. Just get a little wet, but you could go right through it. But when you and I see a wall, we don't think of literally going right through that wall. We can't think of that. That would be ludicrous. Or that would be science fiction. We just don't go through walls. We take the door. We walk around it. Your life, however, can be seen in a different light. I challenge you to act as though every single wall in front of you is truly a flow and a ray of water. And by doing that, you will be surprised of how many obstacles you're able to overcome. However, before you start with others, you start at the office, I strongly recommend that you start with yourself. Now, this is not an exercise that's going to take weeks and months and years. No. This is something you can do today. This is something you can start right away. How can I help? And sometimes it doesn't even have to be something that the other person requests. As you are watching this webinar right now, perhaps you can turn over to the next person next to you and see, do they need a drink? Are they sitting comfortably? Is there anything you can do to make their day better? That's all it takes. It's the option that you're given at any given time to help another be happier. Get more than what they have. Let them see themselves greater than who they are. And make them feel as though they are the only ones that matter. Now, to do that, you yourself have to become a smaller person. You have to almost nullify yourself. You have to become smaller, and they have to become bigger. Because if you say, I am the doctor here, I am the owner, I am a person, I, and me, it's hard to let someone else be there. If you're so big, laying on the bed, no one else can lay next to you. If you're so big and huge, sitting on the couch, no one can sit next to you. If there's so much already on your plate, can't put any more. If you're so smart, you can't learn anymore. The end of your journey begins at the time that you believe you have acquired all that there needs to be in, and all that is given, and everything that exists in the world. When a person says, I know it all, I got it, I know where I'm at, I am sure of myself, and I am completely confident that I've got it all. This is the beginning of the end. This is the end of that road. And they start sliding down. But if a person continuously strives and knows that whatever they have there is more, not only spiritually, physically, materially, financially, economically, in every single aspect of someone's life, you're able to do more, you're able to create more, you're able to give more. You can do that. I have been blessed, thank God, with 7 beautiful children, 6 girls and 1 boy. It took us quite a while to get that boy, but finally we were blessed with one. And I thank God every day for having 7 beautiful children. Having children is a blessing in itself. I've learned, however, that raising children is a great challenge. Tremendous, tremendous obstacles that come up on a daily basis in every aspect. Teaching them the right things, and sometimes you wonder whether or not they understand what you're speaking. Sometimes you even wonder whether or not they are your own kids, because comes the teenage years and you can't even believe that some of the things, the comments, or the way that they're acting. But one thing is for sure, we love them. Same as a spouse. Same as a spouse. You marry someone, or you live with someone, or you develop a relationship with a spouse, and you realize how wonderful they are, how amazing that person is, and you would like to commit yourself to be with them for the rest of their life, the rest of your life. Then times go by, and challenges come about, and things happen. And they happen in such a way where sometimes we're not sure what we're going to do, and we have a hard time deciding the direction to go. And because the challenge becomes so big, at times we forget that this is the same person we started loving. This is the same person that we admired so much. And we get so lost in that we often forget who we are and become different, and we change. And we either become impatient or obtrusive to their lives, or a nuisance. Sometimes it's just becoming plain mean, not respectful. Why is it that we become this way? Why is it that at times we forget who we're dealing with? Why is it that at times the people that we love so much, the people that we care for, the people that we work with, the people that we have interaction with, the people that are around us, are not being treated the way they're supposed to? By none other than me. Why is it that you do that? The simple reason is because when you become so inflated with yourself, so copiously is the word, proud of who you are and what you've accomplished, then no one else can stand next to you and nothing else can stand next to you. You are that person and you can make what you want. And therefore, it is your right. The truth is, it's unnecessary to do that. It can be done with kindness. It can be done with literally respect on every single level. By becoming the yes person, by becoming that person that says yes to everybody, yes to everything, yes to every single challenge, you'll not only be able to accomplish so much more and help so many other people, but you will become that person that trails a legacy in your life. I, as I mentioned earlier, worked very hard at this, especially since I saw my father literally spend all of his life while he was still alive. Give to my mother and give to the children more than 100%. Even when he did not have, he gave it to us. And the things that he showed us, the things that he gave us, the things that he was able to lead us to, were things that were greater than he was. But he knew for a fact that we deserved it. Somehow, he always put himself last. I remember on the day that I was getting married, as a matter of fact, my wife and I were blessed with being married in Paris, France, where my parents live. And when we went there to get married, my father had made sure that I had bought a suit and everything had been bought for the family. And not only that, made sure that all of the needs for the bride and the groom and everything were taken care of. And it was literally 1 week prior to the wedding. And my father came, and I saw him rushing on one day and said, "Dad, where are you going?" And he said, I have to get a suit. It's the wedding in a couple of days, and I didn't get a suit yet. Indeed, my father had not gotten a suit. He had made sure that every single detail, him and my mom, had literally spent thousands of dollars, borrowed, did whatever they could to make sure that we had a nice wedding. Not a big wedding, a small wedding, but a good, nice, conducive to the means that we had. The type of wedding where people were happy, people were together. But he forgot to get a suit. And it was not something he just forgot because he was just so busy his mind was frazzled. No. He purposely put himself last. That left another impression on me. Many impressions that I learned from my father. Many things that I learned. That once you put other people first, once you put other priorities first, once you help other people get what they want, you will get everything you want. It's amazing. I was at the synagogue this morning, interestingly enough, and there was a gentleman that was there. And he needed a ride back to the hotel. He was there doing his prayers, and he was on his way traveling from New York and in California. And he asked one of the members there, said, is there any cabs around here? So the gentleman sitting next to him saying, it's a small city. This early in the morning, there's probably no cab, and it will take time. And the man didn't say anything, thought for a second and said, I see. I immediately walked over to him and said, where would you like to go? He said, I have to go back to my hotel. I'm staying at the Marriott by the airport. And I immediately jumped on that and said, I can take you. It was early in the morning, and I also have to get to work. Not only that, I knew that I had all other type of priorities. My day is as important as yours. Maybe even more important. But this man needed a ride, and I drove him to the airport. On the way to the airport, I did not know this man. I knew, obviously, he had come to the synagogue to pray, but I did not know this man. On the way to the airport, he expressed his gratitude for being taken there, and he told me a little bit about his life. When I got to the hotel and I dropped him off and I said, I hope you have a great day and a successful week, he turned around to me and said, may God bless you for this wonderful deed that you did. And not only that, may He shower you with goodness for yourself, for everything. I thought it was a beautiful blessing. I enjoyed it. I thought it was really, really sweet. I went home, and of course now I didn't have much time, so skipped breakfast and skipped a few other things and got in the car and immediately drove to my office and got here to my office on time. As I got to my office, interestingly enough, I received an email from my daughter. And my daughter was exhorting to me how beautiful life she was raised with. She's 18 years old. She is in school at this point, away at school, and told me how wonderful life is having a father and a mother who care. Someone that gave her the ability to see the best in their life. That, ladies and gentlemen, is the blessing from that man. Because you know for a fact that when you receive good news from your children, from a friend, from a parent, every time you hear good news, you should be thankful and grateful for that. That blessing was instantaneous. All I had to do was come to the office and that email was there. And my daughter says on the email, which I had written a letter to her back literally 3 weeks ago, said, I am so sorry I have not been able to write back, but I've been extremely busy with school and all the chores. However, I've been thinking about you and I wanted you to receive this today. You want to call it coincidence? Fine. Random event? Fine. Haphazard, situation? Fine. I call it divine providence. The blessing to know. If I had just gotten $1,000 in the bank as a present from somebody else, it would also have been nice, but not the same way. If I had just heard something else about somebody else that I didn't know, it would have been nice, but not the same way. To hear from your own children, that's a blessing in itself. And I could not have asked for a better blessing than this today. The yes person sees the yes and the good in everything and in everybody and everywhere they go at all times, under all circumstances. This morning, I could not have done that. I was not able to do that. I had not planned for that. I could have just said, you know what? The best I could do is give you a phone number and try to call the cab for you. I'll even give you $10 if you have to. But I took him to the airport myself. Why? He was stranded. It didn't matter. Everything else will work around it. And indeed, it actually happened that way. You have to become that yes person. You have to say yes to everything that you see around you. I'm just telling you for a fact, try this just for a few days. Just for a few days. Next time your spouse, your brother, your sister, your colleague, your friend, your neighbor comes to you and says, could you please do me a favor? Right there, answer it this way. Absolutely. I can even do more than one favor. What can I do for you? Answer it this way. Absolutely. I could do more than one favor. What can I do for you? Answer that. You will see that the opportunity will come your way and you'll be able to overcome those obstacles. And by helping other people get what they want, you will get everything you need. That's a guarantee. The reason I mention this is because I hear from many offices nationwide that the situation in the offices often is not a team effort. It's not people working together. The doctor wants one thing, the staff wants another, the people in the office want different things. I'm telling you for a fact. It comes from the fact that each and every one of us is thinking about me. Forget you. Think about the other. And by doing that, you'll normally be blessed. The other people will only be blessed. But everything around you will look positive, better, stronger, higher, and transcendental. And that wall that you thought was an obstacle will become a glass of water that you'll go right through it. So make your day a different day. And take this advice from me. I am a coach. Not because I'm any smarter. Not because I'm any better. Just because I've been there. And the things that I've learned and the success that I enjoy today is due to the mentors that I had. And therefore, I want to share that with you. May God bless you with blessings of goodness and with greatness and the ability to share the kindness that you have. Because each and every one of us have within us an unlimited potential of goodness. You just have to release it. You just have to see it, tap into it, and let it gush out. They say that the United States of America have within the grounds of the United States more oil than any other place in the world. Any other place. The resources that we have hidden on the grounds of the United States of America are greater than any other country in the world. Isn't that amazing? If that's the case, why not tap into these resources and let the whole world enjoy them? And that's what we're doing. But before we start digging into other grounds or the grounds outside of our realm, start digging into your own ground. Start digging into your own heart, into your own being, into your own person, and start giving. Everything that you will do, I promise you, will proliferate itself exponentially, unbelievably, undeniably, unequivocally, to help you, help the world, and help this place be a godly place, a holy place, a wonderful place, and live a life of a person who truly made a difference. Hope you have a great day, and God bless you, and thank you for listening today.